once again. Welcome back to my channel. This is Matthew, and I am grateful to be here today to talk about fearless moral inventories. These are inventories that help you in the process of recovering. Now, a lot of people, when they start a fearless moral inventory of their life, they have the question, well, where do I start? I don't feel like there's just so much, trauma and so much going on in my mind. I don't know where to start. Well, the cool thing about an inventory is, as messy and as awful as it is to get your thoughts down on paper, you'll find eventually as you start writing down events from your childhood, from your past, all the way up to the present, that it will be messy at first. That's kind of how it works, in the process of recovery, is that everything in your mind is chaotic because of your trauma and addiction. So obviously you can't expect yourself to be able to organize your thoughts and feel good about it. A lot of people, they refrain from doing it because they're afraid of confronting the awful things that happen to them in their life. For instance, I was super afraid of confronting the thoughts of my past with being molested as a child, and super, hesitant to write down the details and write down all the things that happened to me. And it's not that I wanted to write down details. I had a hard time, extrapolating the blurs because I tried to block out a lot of those memories. And revisiting old memories like that, we all know that those memories are very painful. They can be super triggering. And so when we write it down, we have to have the thought that, hey, if I get this down on paper, I can re-examine it from an outside standpoint. That's kind of what a fearless moral written inventory provides for somebody who's in recovery, is the ability to look from an outside standpoint and see what happened to you. And so you're not alone in the process. You need to find somebody that you can trust to share both the good and the bad information with, whether that be a counselor, somebody, a church ecclesiastical member, that's a big word for me, or, going to somebody who is outside trauma, their traumas and addictions, somebody who's actually recovered. That could be a sponsor. So one of the best things to do if you don't know what to do, or if you've never prayed before, you can start to experiment with prayer. And one of the first things I ask when I pray is, God, if there is a God and you are there, God, I am trying to get out of my trauma cycle. I'm trying to get out of this wall that I've built around myself, and I'm trying to come back to reality. So when we experiment with anything, odds are the experiment is not going to be successful the very first time we do it. Just like prayers, people think that God is going to answer their prayers right away, and this miracle is going to happen where God's going to come down from heaven and automatically touch us and heal us of our mental illnesses. That's not how it works. He has a plan for us so that we can learn the process of recovery so that as we go through this life, we become advocates for other people, because that's what God wants us to do. He has us on this earth to help each other through the process. And that's why he gives us these tools like these recovery manuals, AA meetings, whatever you're doing to recover, to shed some light on your traumatic life. So I feel the best way to start is experimenting with prayer. If you haven't actually vocally prayed before, don't worry about it. Your prayer will be messy, unlike your inventory of your life. It's going to be messy at first. But I find that as you start somewhere, God can take those jumbled pieces of your life and he can start putting them together and making sense of them. And as you start to see your life through God's eyes, you'll get a greater vision of why things happen the way they did and why things are there for you to grow and for your benefit. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I have a hard time articulating my thoughts sometimes. I hope you like, my calm, apathetic voice if you're listening. And yeah, I would love to hear comments. If you guys have comments, anybody who's watching, who's, you don't have to be subscribed to this channel, but I would love to hear comments if you are watching. And even if you get to the end of this video, and hopefully you are, hopefully YouTube is not blocking any of the things that I'm saying or my content. Hopefully they'll be honest and allow this information to get out there to people that are actually suffering mentally. So anyways, you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.